What is good, everybody? Demetrius is back with another special Shenmue video. And as Shenmue 3 is just about a month away, I figured it was somewhat important that we would talk about the influential women that Ryo Hazuki has come across up to this point. It tends to get overlooked sometimes on how important that these women were to Ryo Hazuki, as far as his growth was concerned and as far as his progress concerning his journey of revenge. And me personally, some of these women even have the key for Ryo Hazuki as far as, defeating Lan Di and also figuring out his father's past as well. So here I'm gonna kind of rank place these women as far as who had the biggest influence to Ryu and also who had the biggest importance to Ryu in his journey, even though all of these women played a tremendous role in Ryu's journey up to this point. So let's check it out. To start off, we're going to begin with Nozomi. And a lot of people that I've talked to kind of think that Nozomi didn't really have an impact on Ryu in the first Shenmue, which of course I think that is completely untrue. The reason why I think that's untrue because I think Nozomi played one of the biggest roles at that time. Ryu had just suffered a tragedy, losing his father. I think Nozomi was kind of like that voice of calmness for Ryu. And then on top of that, I kind of feel like Nozomi was kind of that person, even though Ryu really never showed it, Nozomi was kind of that person to where when Ryu talked to her, she kind of got his mind off of things. She kind of got his mind to kind of settle in, and he was able to do other things and he was able to think clearly. I think that's what Nozomi really did. And let's not forget, she gave Ryu the flowers, so Ryu clearly knew that she cared. And then on top of that, if y'all remember in the park, when they were in the park and Nozomi tells him, "I wish time would just stand still," it kind of makes Ryu calm down, and then he just starts thinking, and then of course he goes into a cinematic and stuff like that. So Nozomi was really that voice to kind of really keep Ryu from going kind of crazy, I personally feel like. So she clearly did have a big impact. And then on top of that, Nozomi was one of the few people that Ryu could actually call on the telephone and actually have a conversation with. So that was pretty cool too. And the fashion that Ryu was able to save Nozomi from the Mad Angels is still one of the most epic things in the whole Shenmue saga, despite everything else that has been going on in the saga. And that's also one of my personal favorite scenes in the whole entire Shenmue saga. When he saves Nozomi, the whole motorcycle thing, man, that is just one of the most unforgettable things right there. So Nozomi clearly had a big impact on Ryo. And even though we don't really see Nozomi too much, I kind of feel like, when Ryu goes to China, I kind of feel like, he always has Nozomi's words in his head. So I feel like, she's just a big impact. Next is Joy. Now Joy is very important to Ryu because of course Ryu just coming to China, and Ryu basically was, thrown into trouble. He gets his wallet taken from him and all of that stuff. So Joy really helped him out with that. She introduced him to Wong and all those other guys, and she was really a big help in helping Ryu get his way around, get his footing going. She gave Ryu a place to stay, gave him a job and stuff like that. So Joy was a nice, a big impact as far as, I guess you can say, financially. She helped Ryu stay on his feet, made sure he had money and stuff like that. So I think that's where Joy came in as being a big impact. Joy definitely showed that she had Ryu's back throughout the whole thing. And then even though her theme music was kind of corny to me, Joy was that she was that personality I felt was kind of good for Ryu, because when Ryu encountered her all the time, it was like she was really trying to get Ryu to loosen up, in a sense. And then on top of that, she was upbeat and fun loving. She was really, really excited. She was jacked, like she was just full of energy. So I think her personality was really great for Ryu. And then at the end of Shenmue 2, he ends up saving her as well. So Joy was a big impact as far as financially helping Ryu get around, helping Ryu meet a lot of people, and of course, helping Ryu from Rin's gang as well. So Joy was another big impact And you know, she's also one of my personal favorite characters too, you know, just like the personality of Joy. And in Shenmue 2, one of the things that you could do with Joy is every now and then, like, Joy had this little secret spot in the harbor where if you would see her motorcycle parked and you just go inside the harbor where Ryu works at, you know, she'll just be, you know, staring out to the ocean, you know, and every now and then, like, you know, Ryu can go down there and just talk to her. So I thought that was pretty cool too, that Joy had this little secret spot that you can go meet her there every now and then and just talk to her. And so that was pretty cool too. Joy, one of my top 5 favorite Shenmue characters, hands down. Now, the next woman we're going to talk about here is the old lady Gui Zhang Li. Now, this character here, I really like her as well because she is a very interesting character. She was a character that basically made you be like, what? I didn't know she was that. She was what? So, you know, when Ryu first meets her, of course, she's about to get jumped by, you know, a gang of thugs. And one thing that I noticed when I was playing that scene, you know, the first few times, you know, I got killed. But I just noticed she did a martial arts move on one of the thugs, and I didn't notice that until like the third time when I had to redo the set. So, you know, she was just interesting in that matter, and I like her. I think she was a big impact to Ryu because, you know, she teaches Ryu about the Chawan sign, and she also gives Ryu a lot of martial arts pointers as well. And she also had a relationship with Lishao Tao from a martial arts standpoint. So Gui Zhang Li, she was very, very impactful to Ryu from a martial arts standpoint, teaching him a lot of things, and, you know, even teaching him a move. So Gui Zhang Li, you know, hopefully in Shenmue 3 she might make a little pop-up or something like that. You know, a character like that. I think with the one thing with Gui Zhang Li is that, you know, when we first saw her, you would just probably was like, okay, you know what, this was just an old lady character that we just have to save and nothing. This character was going to have an impact, and she had a big impact to Ryu. And, you know, she's a very good character. You know, I hope she returns, but her impact, it was really felt in Shenmue 2. Next is the adorable Ine-san. And Ine-san, you know, had a big influence and a big impact on Ryu. Of course, you know, she was pretty much the mother figure for Ryu. And, you know, she just did everything for him, you know. She made sure he ate. She made sure, you know, Ryu was safe after his father had perished. And Ine-san, she was just the perfect mother figure to Ryu. She was always concerned, always showed love, and always cared. Ine-san also made sure each and every morning that Ryu had his allowance money before he got his day started. Ine-san was a definite big impactful influence on Ryu. She saw Ryu as a son, and then she loved him as such. And I personally feel like it's because of Ryu in general that Ine-san was able to keep it together herself after Ryu's father had perished. I just hope we'll see Ine-san again very soon. Next in line is Shenhua. And we already know Shenhua is one of the most important characters in the entire franchise. Of course, you know, when we first started playing the first Shenmue, Ryu always had visions of her. And I remember back when, you know, when I first saw the whole cinematic visions of Shenhua, I always got thoughts in my mind. I'm like, damn, how is she like? What is her voice? What is her personality going to be like? That's one thing I really loved about Shenhua in the first Shenmue, is just how, you know, she just made you wonder how she was. You just wanted to know so bad how she was. To a certain extent, I always used to think that Shenhua had some type of visional superpowers, you know, every time Ryu had these type of cinematic visions about her. And I remember all the time when I was playing, I used to always think that there had to been something that was making those visions happen, rather than those visions just happening. You know, rather it be the Phoenix Mirror or something like that. You know, it always felt that those visions were being made to happen. And if y'all can see where I'm going with this, like every time Ryu had those visions, he would just get up, and you can just tell the determination on his face just got stronger and stronger after he had those visions. So it just almost felt like it was some type of, psycho power type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because every time he had these visions, Ryu would just get more stronger. He'd just get more determined. He to a certain extent he would get more gritty. You know what I'm saying? So the visions of Shenhua was definitely an influence, definitely impactful. And then of course when you finally meet Shenhua in Guilin, of course Ryu saves her from the river. Shenhua was able to do something that really not really the other women did on a consistent basis, and that was really to kind of get Ryu to go to his past. He never really talked about his past to any of the other women except for Shenhua. When they were on the mountain looking at the stars, and he starts talking about people of his past, his friends and all that stuff. So Shenhua was able to bring that out in Ryu. And of course, one of the most important things that had happened is that Shenhua leads him to a cave where they end up finding the mirrors. But the interesting thing about Shenhua is that, of course, her story isn't finished yet. I think Shenhua, she's a character, she is going to be there to the end. There's still a lot of mystery behind her, a lot of exciting mystery behind her. And I still feel that Shenhua may be a martial artist. She may be some type of kung fu expert or something. I still think there's a lot to be discovered with her, but still, she is still an overall influential impact on Ryu, and she is still going to be, Shenhua is going to be there till the end. And it kind of looks, from what it looks like Ryu and Shenhua are going to be an item if they're not already. I think that's going to be the item in Shenmue. So Shenhua is just a definite influence, and there's still a lot to be discovered about her. And finally, it's Lishao Tao. And here's the thing. The reason why I think Lishao Tao could be the most influence as far as Ryu is concerned is because Lishao Tao really looked over him. She really had a lot of care for him silently. And one thing about Lishao Tao was also able to do something that even Shenhua wasn't able to do. And that was pretty much stand up to Ryu. She really stood up to Ryu. She really, challenged him or tested him to become better. And that's one of the things I liked about Lishao Tao. She really challenged Ryu. She did not back down from him, and Ryu benefited from it. And also Lishao Tao really, she really was kind of like the guardian for Ryu, because she saved him from Danwi after Ryu had a couple of close calls, and she was really just looking out for him. It's kind of, she really seen something in him. She seen the potential, and she made that decision to protect him and look after him. And if you can remember the scene where Ryu comes in and catches her crying when she looks at a picture of her and her brother, and she has a little flashback, I think it's because of Ryu kind of reminds her of her brother, the determination, and also her brother also had a beef with the Chiyu men. So I think that's one of the reasons why she also helps him a lot, is because that Ryu reminds her of her brother. Now, there was a rumor that was going around at that time, and I know dedicated Shenmue fans and Shenmue people that have been following Shenmue for a long time, y'all know of this rumor that Lan Di and Lishao Tao may have been brother and sister. That rumor was going around for a good minute. Of course it's died off, but I do remember that rumor. Although I don't want the rumor to be true, I don't think the rumor is true. I don't think they're brother and sister. But that rumor came up, and it was really circling the Shenmue world for a while. But I remember when that rumor came out, and I was just like, nah, I don't want this rumor to be true. I do not want Lishao Tao and Lan Di to be brother and sister. No, I don't want that. But I don't think, no one has really spoken of it, so I just think it was just one of those rumors that just came about. But yeah, that rumor was it was a wild one. But as I said before, Lishao Tao was very hard on Ryu. I actually liked it, the fact that she was hard on him, because one thing that it did was it made Ryu respect her. I didn't think when she first came onto the scene and Ryu met her at Mamo Temple, I don't think Ryu had a lot of respect for her. But I think as they progressed, as the relationship progressed, as she continued to teach him martial arts and teach him things like coordination and working hard like the bookstore and stuff like that, I think Ryu developed some good respect for Lishao Tao, and I do respect her as a character. Like I said before, she stood up to Ryu's ass. So and like I said, Ryu's benefiting from it, and he's gonna get stronger, and it's part of the reasons why he's progressing so well in his journey is because of Lishao Tao. So family, these are the women that I feel that were the most influential and the most impactful and the most important to Ryu on his journey in Shenmue 1 and 2. And as I said before, I hope that we'll see some of these women. Of course, we'll see Shenhua, but I hope we'll see some of these women in Shenmue 3 or any other future Shenmue title, because they are clearly unforgettable characters. So let me know y'all thoughts and tell me how y'all feel about these influential women on the life of Ryo Hazuki. And if you're feeling the video, show the video some love and subscribe to your boy for more Shenmue 3 or more Shenmue franchise content. This is Demetrius. Thank you for watching. God bless, and remember, Shenmue for life. I will see y'all next time. I am out. Peace.